Hello everyone, welcome to my new channel, Inconvenient Truths, Jennifer Zheng Reports. I'm your host, Jennifer Zheng. In our last video, we unpacked shocking revelations from a former double agent about the CCP's 10th Bureau, the shadowy arm of the Ministry of State Security that hunts overseas dissidents with ruthless precision. Today, dive deeper into his gripping 15-year odyssey as a spy and the hard-won lessons that could rewrite the rules of global espionage. Eric was born in Chongqing City in China. In 2007, he was 22 and still a college student. Western democratic ideas called to him, so he secretly joined the China Social Democratic Party based in the US. Soon, the CCP found out. Police came to his door. They took him to the station. They interrogated him for days. He faced prison or becoming a CCP agent. To survive, he chose the agent path. That kicked off his 15-year spy career. Because he was arrested for joining an overseas dissident party, it was natural to use his dissident identity to infiltrate groups. He gathered intelligence from inside opposition organizations. In 2016, he posed as a dissident and went to Dharamsala, India, the Tibetan exile government's home. He attended an event of the Tibetan exile government. He even met the Dalai Lama. He wrote reports on the exile government's China policy. His bosses were pleased. He gained more trust and bigger tasks. He was sent overseas, for example, to Thailand to track dissidents. Australia's ABC video actually made a
A Chinese spy handler messages his undercover.
Australia's ABC TV actually made a 47-minute documentary on his story and named the three dissidents he tracked.
China's powerful secret.
The first was Edwin Yin, a YouTuber living in Australia. He wrote a book claiming Xi Jinping has 4 secret kids. He posted a video mocking Xi's daughter. He fled to Australia in 2018. For that, the CCP sent agents like Eric to track him. They even questioned and threatened Yin's then partner Michelle. When she went back to China to visit her parents, Michelle was pregnant then. CCP officials pressured her to get an abortion. They feared a child born in Australia would grant Yin citizenship by birth. That would mess up their capture plans. Actually, Australia doesn't have birthright citizenship. In Australia, Yin suffered constant harassment. He even lived in a camper van for a while. He moved his van everywhere. He felt unsafe. Strange cars and Chinese faces often popped up at his door. Sometimes he heard the footsteps at night. Once he rushed out with a knife but found no one. In 2021, he was even attacked by 2 guys in Melbourne. His nose was broken. He suspects they were Chinese agents. The second person Eric attracted was the political cartoonist Wang Limin. He is known as Rebel Pepper. He often draw cartoons that mock Xi. In 2016, Eric was sent to Cambodia to monitor Rebel Pepper and try to get him trapped. The CCP arranged an apartment for Eric there. They placed him as a planning manager and Prince Real Estate Group, a sub of the Cambodia Prince Group. Its chairman Chen Zhi was recently sued by the US for scams. The US also seized roughly 15 billion in Bitcoin from him. Back in 2016, Eric used that cover to reach Rebel Paper, who was in Japan at that time. Eric told Rebel Paper he wanted him to design a logo for Prince Real Estate Group. Rebel Paper did design the logo. The company used his design at events. Eric even asked the manager of the company to take quite a few pictures with a giant inflatable version of that logo and then sent them to Rebel Paper. Thus, Eric gained Rebel Paper's trust. Then Eric told Rebel Paper that the group wanted to hire him as a creative director. They offered good pay and an interview in Cambodia. Rebel Paper nearly agreed, but his wife strongly opposed this, saying that Cambodia was not safe. So he didn't go. But he had no clue it was a CCP trap until the ABC reporter showed him evidence 8 years later. Let's watch a clip from the ABC document.
我们自己的调查，然后我们也能够跟您证明，当时那次确实是中国警察对你设下来的一个陷阱。
哎，是吗？你有证据啊？
Do you recognize this email exchange between you and a person named Xiaoyang?
哎，你们有这个 email 的截图？对，是这个人。哇，
这个信息是一位秘密警察跟他的手下的派遣任务下来要抓捕你的那位人士，也就是小杨的一个对话。
So you can see when the ABC reporter told the Rebel Paper about the trap, he didn't believe it at first. He asked, "You have proof?" The reporter showed the chat logs between Eric and his boss. Rebel was stunned. You can imagine his fear. What if he had ignored his wife's objection and gone? He'd likely be in a CCP jail now, maybe not even alive. The third target was Chinese artist and activist Hua Yong. Again, this is a clip from ABC's documentary.
An artist called Hua Yong. Hua Yong had long been an outspoken critic of the Communist Party. In 2012, he staged a protest commemorating the Tiananmen Square massacre, punching himself in the face. In 2017, he made international headlines by documenting Beijing's mass evictions of migrant workers.
So after that, Hua Yong fled to Bangkok. In 2020, Eric's boss said higher-ups hate him, deal with him. Eric's job lured Hua to Cambodia or Laos. Success meant a 100,000 RMB bonus, about 14,000 US dollars. Eric took a cover job as a planning manager at a hotel group in Bangkok called White Horse. He reached out to Hua. They talked about building democratic groups aboard. To win Hua Yong's trust, Eric made a plan and gained his supervisor's support, set up a fake anti-CCP militia called the Weber Brigade. He started a YouTube channel, posted videos on armed revolution against the CCP, even jungle gun training clips. He said the weapons and other equipment in the videos were actually provided by his supervisors in China. After watching his statement and those videos, Hua felt fired up. Eric gained huge trust and he was invited to Hua's inner circle. In April 2021, Hua got a temporary Canadian protection visa, so he moved to Vancouver. Eric kept reporting on Hua, phone numbers, addresses, movements, and contacts. Eric's work was praised and he received a reward. When the ABC reporter showed Eric's report to Dan Stanton, a 32-year veteran of Canadian intelligence, Stanton was shocked. Let's watch.
Is that the residence of the dissident?
Yeah. I showed the report to Dan Stanton. He was an intelligence officer with the Canadian Security and Intelligence Service for 32 years. He ran their China desk for 4 years.
The map is what?
His daily activity, he worked from home to a friend's home,
Wow.
the distant.
So pattern of life, what his routines are, what he likes to do. This is impressive. Someone in the group was befriending the dissident and then would be reporting back on his activities, his personalities, who he has contacts with. So from the Chinese perspective, they're identifying and neutralizing a threat to the state. For Canada, we got a sovereignty issue here.
So the chilling development was in November 2022, 18 months after arriving in Canada, Hua Yong died in a cold lake. So Hua Yong died in this lake, the one he often kayaked before. Canadian officials called it an accident. Eric said his first reaction was to wonder if Hua had been killed. But as Eric did not take part in any such act, he could not say for sure if it was an accident or murder. But he stressed Hua had always been a CCP secret police target. The ABC documentary also said Eric tried to defect several times. In 2011, he secretly went to Hong Kong. He contacted the US consulate and declared whom he worked for. US officials listened seriously, but he couldn't get away. That's what the ABC documentary said. In his current X pinned post, Eric reveals After that 2011 meet, he chose to work for the US too, and he went back to China as a double agent. He says contact with US intel officers, especially the second time, was like a movie, dramatic. Our talks, some parts annoyed me, but the US government was generous. Eric said that after returning to China, a series of events unfolded involving complex fake intelligence handouts and recruitment operations. Later, he went to Hong Kong again to meet with US officials. However, that meeting, combined with his earlier experiences, made him realize the deep differences between Eastern and Western ways of thinking, including in intelligence work. In China, people value flexibility, intriguing, and deception, and will use any means necessary to achieve their goals. In secret operations, using bribery to corrupt or recruit others is considered normal. But Americans tend to follow procedures. Taxpayer money cannot be casually thrown into conspiracies or trial and error schemes the way it often is in China. Because of this, working for the US in intelligence matters became extremely dangerous. Eric later warned Chinese people not to easily engage in secret work for foreign governments inside China because the CCP authorities have very strong surveillance and targeting capabilities. And due to cultural and thinking differences, the instructions or responses from foreign agencies could, at certain points, put you at great risk of exposure. Eric said that after his second contact with the US officials in Hong Kong, he decided to end his relationship with the US government as continuing it had become far too dangerous. Actually, it turned out that between 2010 and 2012, the CIA's human intelligence network inside China was indeed almost completely destroyed. Dozens of informants working for the US were arrested, imprisoned, or executed after Chinese counterintelligence discovered the system the CIA used to communicate secretly with its targets. There were also online rumors that as many as 36 US agents were gathered in a meeting room and executed all at once. Eric added that if he had maintained contact with the US, he might have been caught too. After Eric shared this, Radio Free Asia contacted the US government for comment but received no reply. Eric also said that although he unilaterally cut off contact, neither he nor the US government ever formally ended his working relationship, neither verbally or in writing. Strictly speaking, it seems he is still an American agent. If that is the case, I strongly suggest that the CIA contact Eric to obtain his insider information about the CCP's spy networks, especially those operating in the United States. The agency should also consult with him about why he felt it was unsafe to work for the CIA inside China, what loopholes and risks exist, and how they might be addressed. This could help improve the CIA's operational security in future missions in China. In 2023, Eric fled China. He sought asylum in Australia. He contacted Australian intelligence and ABC. He revealed these secrets publicly. Interestingly, the V Brigade was initially a fake group to trump Huayong, but Eric says his armed overthrow ideas were real. Huayong got it, and that's why he trusted him. Eric still thinks peaceful method cannot overthrow the CCP. He argued that mass protest would be crushed by the military. The CCP won't hesitate to send tanks if the crowd gets big enough. He thinks a better choice would be targeted strikes against CCP leaders. So he has revived V Brigade, and this is the X account of V Brigade. Its profile says, "Seize power, build a republic." The pin post said this: "The V Brigade is not a It's not a political party, it's a disciplined force and a future national defense and intelligence system. During the revolution, it carries out special tasks. After that, it will rebuild army and security. We will seize power by force, remake the republic." A pinned video shows people holding V Brigade in China signs, clearly trying to show that the group has gained members inside China. He called it a legendary unit built with secret police resources. He says, this is a unit born out of legend. It was built using the resources of the secret police, yet from the very first battle on the very first day, it defeated the secret police. This is a volunteer army. Our determination and will are as solid as rock. We will seize power and rebuild the republic. We will become the true national defense force of future China. Eric's story and revelations made me think a lot. My first thought is the CCP really goes all out against dissidents. That helps explain why lately even the New York Times and some big Chinese YouTubers have been attacking Falun Gong and Shen Yun performing arts. They even use the US legal system against Shen Yun. These recent coordinated attacks on Falun Gong and Shen Yun show that the CCP's campaign of unrestricted warfare truly knows no limits, while free societies often respond too slowly and inadequately. As former Canadian intelligence officer Dan Stanton said, this is a matter of national sovereignty. Can we allow the CCP to continue killing, persecuting, and harassing dissidents in other countries? My second thought is the CCP spends enormous amounts of money and efforts to train agents like Eric. Yet, the human desire for freedom is stronger than any dictatorship. When enough Chinese people awaken and take action, the CCP will fall. Do you agree? Well, that's all for today. Again, please subscribe to and share my new YouTube channel to help it grow. You can also visit my website jenniferzengblog.com to sign up for a membership or make a donation. Your support is the driving force that enables me to keep telling the inconvenient truths. Thank you and see you next time.